Is it started? Oh, good. We're on. This is my darling sister, Dawn. And so happy to teach a class with her because we always have fun when we teach together. In fact, we have more fun than you know.
We've had lots of fun so far.
Yeah. And so we want to talk today. We always do things together, you know? We like this, she likes that, so we do things together. And today we want to talk about embroidery and why we embroider and other things we do. Don't stand close to me. Okay, so why do we embroider?
Because it gives us peace. It's zen. There's something about embroidering when you do the repetition of it that just soothes your soul. So embroidery, if you haven't learned how to embroider yet, then it's something to put on your things I want to learn. And it's not hard. And people worry that their backs aren't going to look good enough. And my backs look however they look. I don't give a rip. Nobody's going to see your back unless you make a hand towel or something. So don't make one of those. Put it on a quilt. You'll get good. And pretty soon your backs will look good. So you just have to not be a perfectionist and want to do something zen. And embroidery really is this peaceful, wonderful handwork thing to do that anyone can do.
So we wanted to talk about our grandma first.
Grandma Mabel. And when my children were babies, Grandma Mabel died when I was 19. And when my children were little and they started worrying about dying, I would say, you guys, it'll be great. Grandma Mabel's waiting for you. So my kids think they know Grandma Mabel because they do through me. And Grandma Mabel did embroidery into her 90s until she was so old. Wait till we show you. Till she was so old, she thought that the quilting stitches were where you're supposed to do, tell me, French knots. So she has French knots on all the, she was in her 90s and she was still doing it. She had carpal tunnel and I have memories of her just going like this, shaking her hands out and then she'd start again, then she'd shake her hands out and start again. And so we once made wall hangings out of about 5 of these and took them to a family reunion and they went for hundreds of dollars per wall because everybody wanted Grandma Mabel on the wall. I have several of these that she made over the years. She just did some embroidery for children and I've made quotes for people I really love that are her posterity. She did tablecloths and that had 4 napkins with it. And it's stunningly beautiful work. And she just did embroidery and it kept her peaceful because she couldn't walk well and she had heart trouble. So she would just sit in her chair and do embroidery and feel like she was still being productive. My mother had her do this when I was very young because I'm one of the youngest granddaughters and she was worried that she wouldn't be able to. And it's upside down and sideways. But this is my wedding quilt that Grandma did all the work on. And so I'm glad I finally got married so I could finally have it.
And someday you'll be the grandma. Someday you'll be the 90-year-old grandma. This is my wedding quilt.
She's way older than I am, so it has more stains.
Well, it's been sitting a lot too. We used it a lot too. But the funny part about this is, when I bought it for Grandma, I was just gonna get married. Or no, I don't think I was married. I was in college. So I bought her this stuff to make me a wedding quilt, and I bought it in red and green. So this was going to be reds, and then the leaves were going to be green. But I think I bought 2 colors of red and 1 color of green. But she must have thought I didn't want green, because she did it all in red, which I love. I don't even care. I think that would have been dumb to have it green. So now I love it all red. So,
and our mother picked the beautiful backs. So, and our mother did the binding, and our mother did the quilting. Grandma didn't have money, so if you wanted her to do some special embroidery for you,
like
you
this.
bought it and gave it to her, and then she would do it and give it back.
And sometimes our aunts would help do the quilting. We were quilters back then.
Okay, so we want to tell you, our mother doesn't do embroidery, and she's 90. Well, she's not quite 90. She'll be 90 in May, and she reads. But I just wish she did embroidery. I think she'd feel so much more productive and so much more like she was adding to the world if she had something that she was creating and making. So that really is a good reason to learn to do embroidery, because it is something you can do late into your years.
We have other reasons you should do embroidery. Let me say that. Okay. Other reasons we do embroidery is for a gift of love. You know, some people don't need gifts at all, but if you do something handwork, you know this because you're quilters. If you do handwork, that's a gift of love, and they will know that. So if I want to make a little tea towel with embroidery on it and give it to someone, I feel like they know I love them.
She's made these tea towels.
Did I? Oh yeah.
For me. They're mine.
I forgot.
She loves me so much.
So I do like the chickens. I have to open those up. And it's fun to do.
Can we see the back?
You see the back? I don't know
Wow,
how
yours
I
are
did the
nice.
back
We
then.
don't care how the back looks. You don't need
It
to care
looks
about anything.
perfect.
Does it? I
Yeah.
don't remember.
One summer, I knew I was gonna be traveling a lot, and so we made nativities, and these weren't the exact ones. I took 2 or 3 patterns and made up my own, but Terry made these. And all summer long, I made nativities, and then when Christmas came, I just put a simple border around them and quilted them and gave them to my people in my neighborhood or people I really.
And I haven't got around to making mine into gifts yet, but somebody I really love will get one someday.
That way, when we were traveling in the car or anywhere I went, I just had red work and just did it. And so they were really a
There's
happy.
another red work that she did, and mine is halfway done. Mine like this is halfway done, but it's, I don't know, I must be bored with it because I haven't gone back to it for a while.
Okay, the other reason for embroidery, yes,
Where do
ma'am.
you get your pattern?
We're gonna talk about that.
Good.
The other
Keep that
reason,
question, Madam.
yeah, you hold on to that one. The other reason for embroidery is because forever, and especially as you age, you end up sitting in the hospital next to somebody, one of your kids broke something, or your husband, or your sister, or whoever. And so when that happens, if you have red work or blue work, or especially a one solid color work, it's so simple. It takes no brain space, and you have something to do instead of playing Candy Crush on your. It's way more productive, and you're happy that you have it, and it's just an ongoing project to have all the time. So I had a girlfriend once that didn't call me. Her husband had a heart attack, and a few weeks later she said, I almost called you and asked you to bring me some embroidery work, and then I remembered I had some at home, and my daughter brought it to me, but I was just gonna have you bring me anything, because it's so mind-killing to have to just sit there, as you well know.
And so, and we'll talk about finding patterns, but again, this is just to sit around and something to do when your husband wants to watch TV and you're supposed to be a good wife and sit by him, don't make me. So this was just something fun, and it will be in a quilt someday. But I don't care when, and it's okay to just have it around. The solid work is what we like. Did we talk about solid work?
I just mentioned it here.
Because we like, it's so fun.
Here is another solid work that Terry did, and this is actually from a applique case, so patterns. This is your first. This is from an applique Kim Deal. And she just decided instead of appliquing to make it into embroidery, and I love it so much I'm gonna do it too. Mine's ready to go.
You
Isn't that
just do it on
beautiful?
cotton.
Yeah, I always do my embroidery on cotton. And some people that are way more professional than us will tell you to put batting on the back so you can't see your thread. I'm just really careful to tie my knots and not have thread going everywhere. So if you want, you can try it that way. I don't like it, so I don't do it.
And there's also a thing of iron-on stuff you can put on the back that's made for embroidery to help hide your threads and to give it more body. But I'm careful not to pull my threads too tight, and I don't mind. So I've used it before, but it doesn't really matter to me. So,
Use a hoop?
yeah, we do use hoops. So I'm just showing all these people at home. Hi, friends.
This one is a gift that was given to me. And so she gave all of us, I have a group of lawn runners that meet together once a month for lunch. And the person who made this was Susan Nelson, and she gave all of us one of these for Christmas. So she just did it through the year and then quilted it up for us. And I love this. It's so fun to hang.
And we have all these, I forgot we had all these embroidery things sitting around that I've done through the years until I go looking. And sometimes I want to make a quilt and I'll go find something and go, oh, I think I'll make a quilt out of this today. So I have all these Christmas ones that I found these really cute patterns. And I just made a bunch of Christmas stuff. Here's some Christmas stuff. So and someday I'll make a Christmas quilt with all these embroidery things in them. Whoa.
Okay, multicolored. This is from an embroidery pattern that I don't know where it was, but we know who made it. Who made it? The same person who made this one. The same person who made the witch one. We'll tell you when we get to the witch one. Anyway, it's an old one. And this was, I had lots of children and I wanted this so bad. I just wanted to make a quilt out of it so bad. So I hired my niece. And my niece actually embroidered all of these for me. And they're still sitting in blocks because that's how special I really am. But I will eventually make a gorgeous quilt out of that.
Was it one of my girls?
It was Adri.
Oh.
Adri needed money and she hardly charged me any. And I felt a little guilty, but she did all of this and it's beautiful.
This one, again, it's solid work, except that each block is a different solid. So, I mean, there's like 5 or 6 different colors, but each block is separately solid, and that makes it easier when you're in the car and, like she said, when you're just, you don't want to think you don't want to think, oh, what color and where am I doing it? That's why we like solid work. It's just so fun. And this is the pattern for it. If anybody wants to buy it, anybody bid? Anybody want to make this quilt embroidered? Come on.
What does it say?
It's the ABC. It's the pattern for this quilt.
$100.
It's the ABC's pattern for these blocks, and it says it's $6.75. Anybody want it for 50 cents? Do I hear a dollar?
There you go.
You got it.
I got it.
Okay, so that is one of the ways to do embroidery. My favorite place to go shopping is in Salt Lake. And I know, are we doing commercials? It's not really. I love Quilts, Etc. And when you go to Quilts, Etc., it's across the street from itself. And when you go into the one across the street, there's a handwork place. And I go there and search for something new to embroider. Because I have to love it or I'm not going to do it. But if I love it, I don't care how much it costs, I buy it. Because it's worth the hours of entertainment that you get to have a good pattern. And I do believe in paying people for their patterns, the people who make patterns. Okay.
Just another.
This one was from a magazine. So you can also get patterns out of magazines.
And I made one. Or maybe my daughter made it. I am so brainless. My daughter made one and made a pillow out of it. Laura made one, and she has her own. And I liked it so much I decided to make it again. Either I made it or she did. I don't remember.
Okay, this was from Quilt, Etc. And it was one of those patterns I couldn't resist. And then I bought all the specialty threads. It has specialty threads that variegate. It's so gorgeous. Do you want me to pass it around so you can touch it? Okay, I will. I love this one so much. And I made it probably 7 or 8 years ago. Any minute now, I will make a wall hammock.
Okay, and I've made this little pattern up a dozen times, half a dozen. I don't know. I made several things out of it for different things. Have you seen these? They're little sunflowers, and they say the name. Sunflower, they're all different flowers. I'm willing to sell this set. How many?
Oh, no.
I did them and that was fun, but I've made stuff out of them before. So anybody want to buy these?
How many blocks?
I don't know.
They're going to make you
I have
count.
to count
You just
them.
start counting. and see how
1,
that goes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 or 9 or 10. All right, she's gonna pay me. You pay me whatever you think they're worth, darling. Okay, now now we've got the reasons why we did embroidery. Did we do them all? Let's see. holiday cheer. We did it all.
Okay.
Now. The exciting, okay, this is the funny part. I'm gonna sit down. When I think about this class all year, I think about what I want to teach, and I start right now to think about next year, and I get ideas from you sometimes, and I'm always in the back of my mind, especially when I go to the fair, I look at all the quilts and say, okay, I'm getting this person for this class, and then get different ideas and see what's going on. So I work on it all year. I was in the dollar store months ago, 6 months ago, I don't know, a long time.
9.
A long time. And I found these really cute stickers. I went, oh, wouldn't that be the cutest wonky house quilt in the world? So that's inspiration for a quilt right there. So I bought her one and me one, and I said, here, I want you to have these stickers.
Take this, make a quilt, she said.
Because they're so cute, aren't they? Just the cutest wonky houses. And so we challenged each other to make a quilt with wonky houses. What did you make?
Is that all we're gonna tell them before?
No,
we
you
move
can
on?
tell them more. Go ahead.
Okay, well, before I made my wonky house, I put it where I could see it in my sewing room. And I kept looking at it, and then I called her and said, okay, I'll teach a class with you. And she said, you will? Yes. This is what we'll call it, parallel play. Because when you do child development, when you study child development in college, they teach you about parallel play. And 2-year-olds don't really play together. You just put them together. They play next to each other. And I said, let's teach a class on parallel play. We've done parallel play all our lives. Let's call it parallel play, and we'll just start making quilts, and we'll do them together. So this will be, you put it away. The houses will be one of them, and you make a quilt and I make a quilt, and then we'll come up with other ideas. And so she said, okay, you come up with the ideas. And I said,
do you know why? She is the galvanizer, the idea girl. She can never stop thinking, and her brain goes all day and all night.
It's true.
All night, especially.
It's true. So
Goes and goes and goes. And so she tells me what to do, and then I do it, see? So we're a good team.
so anyway, that's how this class got designed. And then when we were done with it, we realized it was too big for one class. So we divided it into embroidery, which is today, and then our other parallel play with piecing will be tomorrow's class, because it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
We don't know how to
Okay,
get.
so I took the wonky houses and I made this darling little tiny wonky
wow.
house. And my inspiration was Polly Pockets. Have you ever had those Polly Pockets? Okay, I thought it would be really fun to just put them on the ground and let my grandchildren play with Polly Pockets on top of it, like they're living in the houses. So that is my Polly Pocket house. You can cuss it around if you want.
And she only left this on for fun.
I left that on because I like to remember I'm really special. This is Carrie's wonky houses, and I love it. So it's a wonderful table runner inspired by the wonky houses.
And I love the bag. When I found this random piece that I never thought I'd use on anything, and I went, oh, that's perfect. So it was fun. Okay. And you notice, we can't not do embroidery. There's a little embroidery for the grass.
I like
You know, we had to do a little embroidery.
Okay, and so some of these, starting right now, are things we've done in the past that we just didn't even realize we were parallel playing, but we do parallel play all the time.
So if you recognize some of them, it's true. We did them before.
That one's Terry's and this one's mine.
I think we should, next time, don't tell them who did what.
Oh,
Let
okay.
them guess.
Okay, yeah. We'll hold each other
if
so
they-
you never know.
See if they know our styles yet. Are you learning?
That's unfair because we have the same style and we go back and forth.
I know.
Which one?
I don't know. Just sometimes I don't remember which one I made.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of times I'll get a pattern and share it with her, or she'll buy a pattern and share it with me.
And I do believe in that. If you buy a pattern and then you use it and then you share it and they use it and then they give it back to you, that's not cheating the designer. But you don't want to copy it on a copy machine because that is cheating the designer. These are,
So do you care who did which, or it doesn't matter?
no, we don't care about it. The same anyway.
Oh, now you care? I
Carrie
did
did this one,
and
I
Dawn
did
did
that
this.
one.
Did you guess right?
Yes.
How cute.
Oh, that is cute. I want that pattern.
This is an oldie goldie. This was way years ago.
Aw.
And we're holding the one we did.
Yeah. Okay, this is my favorite. Because I found this pattern, you guys have all seen it by now, but I found it when it was brand spanking new. And here's mine.
That's good.
And then Terry just did hers. But that's
She did hers, and then she loaned me the pattern.
Yeah.
But we were driving back and forth to Illinois several times, and I had a lot of time in Illinois, so I just did it.
So it's been around forever, this pattern. And I
But she's
love
gonna do it any day.
Oh, that's my back, that's my front. Yeah, I can't even tell.
Do we have the pattern here?
No, she's still working on it.
I have it at my house probably. It's one I probably kept.
What's it called? Do you remember?
Over the river and through the woods. And you can look it up and order it
It's
online.
easy.
It is,
So fun.
it's the
It's
people
from
that
years
do
ago.
everything. We have it,
The people do everything.
okay, Crabapple Hill. It's a Crabapple Hill pattern.
And this isn't the setting that they had on the pattern. I just did my own setting because that's what I do.
Yeah, we never obey. We're not
I'm
obeyers.
good at that.
Following rules is not our best thing. Okay, this one is kind of fun. I can tell them the story of this, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so Terry made this years ago, and it was so cute and so fun. And we do this once in a while, she probably more than I. So she made me the pieces, the embroidery pieces. and
It was a
gave to me.
gift. A gift for her.
And while we were playing this game and I found them, I went, oh, do you still have that quilt? I still have the ones you gave me. She goes, I gave you some? Yes. So then I just put this together. So we're parallel playing. But she did the embroidery for me.
Sideways.
It's sideways.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
It's
table
a
runner.
table runner, so it's both ways. It's to put the beautiful crystal on or the whatever you put in the middle of your table.
I see.
They want to see.
Oh, they did? Okay, sorry. Oh, yeah, do you
One
wanna?
we want to really see.
Oh, the pieces, okay, this is a cheater one, just, I meant to say
Didn't
that.
you get that pattern from a magazine?
This?
I think so, yes. Okay, that's what I'm gonna swear to.
Okay, I don't remember. But this is a panel that I cut up and just pieced around it, so it's just parts of panels, so that's, you can test it if you want. It's just the panel pieces.
Okay, and then I found this in a magazine and I loved it so much, and always this is how it goes. So I find it, I show it to Terry, she says, let's make that, okay. And she gets hers done like months and months before mine. And it was originally in red, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I wanted blue.
Yeah.
And this one worked up really, really fast, the little snowman and the little snowflakes works up so fast, and it's fun. And didn't you make more than
I
that?
made multiples of these because my husband was sick and I had something to do while I sat there. So I think I made 5 of these. And they were fabulous gifts for people who blessed my life that I wanted to give some love to. So,
And see, so I make them sooner, but then she makes more. She always makes more.
it's true. Okay, Jamie, come on. So while we were playing this game, on both days, we hang out with Jamie a lot and we decided to play with her.
My daughter.
So Jamie and I,
That's
this is my pattern, that's the story. This is my pattern, swear to it. This is my pattern and I
Sold it
Sold
to
it to
Jamie.
Jamie.
I paid money for this.
and
So
then I
don't
had
take
to
it-
borrow it back to make one to match hers. Because I had a girlfriend that came through and she did the Halloween girl and I had just given my first one away. So she admired it and I handed it to her, so I had to make another. So this one's mine.
It's Dawn's second one. The first one was in.
My first one was an orange background with black on it, so
I
I
haven't
just
seen
went
your
different.
second one. That's fun.
Weird, but I like it.
I like it a lot.
So this pattern is Crabapple Hill.
Uh,
They make really great patterns.
Do you have a longhorn quilling?
I do. She does. She did. She
I
sold
do
it.
not have one.
She
I
sold
think.
it. Will you take care of this for us?
Okay. When you don't have a grandma to embroider for you, then what you do is you get online and you buy embroidery off the internet. And then you swear your Aunt Edna bequeathed it to you.
Hey, this isn't fiction. We've done this
Yes.
for,
I have given
20
so
years.
many gifts. I have cousins that swear they're Aunt Edna's favorite, but whatever. So these are all things I bought online. And they're beautiful and fun, and some grandma made them and their kids didn't care, and I bought them
Oh
years
my
ago,
goodness.
and I just kept
because
them, so I
somebody
feel
should
like-
care, you know?
That's right.
So when we decided to play this game, and Terry let me come up with ideas, she had veto power, of
She's the
course. and She
idea girl.
hated my ideas,
Oh,
she said,
yeah.
no. So this was one of my ideas, as I got into my Aunt Edna stuff. I have it labeled Aunt Edna. I got into my Aunt Edna stuff, and I found these beautiful flowers. And so I gave her flowers and said, make a flower thing out of it. And then I had this middle pattern forever, and I blew it up really big. And here are our quilts out of the same flowers.
And mine was. It's okay.
That's funny.
I was just gonna talk, but it's okay.
You can talk behind me. I'm showing
I know,
I'm showing
I
Stash Busters.
But mine was, it's funny because it was just scraps from other things and maybe it obviously looks like that because this was from a Christmas tree runner or Christmas
I
tree
love
thing I
it.
made. And this were extras from something. And this is the only, I mean, I used every piece of this I had. It was just kind of like make do. So it was.
It's a
that's
really
fun.
beautiful make do, isn't it?
Mhm.
Okay, this is another way you get patterns. This is from one of those adult coloring books.
Oh.
And I actually was the person that was sitting around unable to move. I broke my foot and then had surgery. And so I did this while I had surgery. So at least I felt productive while I was sitting there for 2 months. It was awful. But it was still happy because that's what I have.
So
I will
have
make
something to do.
something beautiful out
You
of it.
never know when things happen. Huh, Alana? Yeah, she tried to chop her finger off the other day. She did it, sorry. Adult coloring book. How do you transfer?
Oh, I took the copy machine and I blew it up, and it took lots of practice until it was way bigger than the little one. I wanted it bigger. So I just kept blowing it up, and then I cut it and put the 4 pieces together, and then I put it on my light box. So you just be creative. I just cut it and put it together and made it fit, and then anything that was a little off, I just ignored it and drew it the way I wanted it with my pen. But you know, if the line's a little off, you make it work. So, and then you just decide how you want to color it in to make things pop so that it's not just a marbled mess.
You said coloring books and anywhere else, really, anything. These books are from, they were in the library giveaway stash, and I said, can I have those to give away? And she said, yes. So these are designs for fabric and wood. And just look at the cute figures. You could blow them up and make, look at the Santa, look at all those cute things. I was thinking, but which birthday? Yours and mine, the closest to yours and mine, or the closest to today, because I've done that before, and if they have the same birthday, then I get a prize I got 12 years ago. I mean, you know, I just don't know.
Today.
Okay, you do it.
Is your birthday today?
Somebody's was.
And do you want one? Okay.
You really want it? Because you don't have to have it.
Okay, is your birthday tomorrow? Is it
Blue or
been,
pink?
how close to March 1st?
I've got one on the 27th.
28th of February, 27th, she's the winner. right there.
You get pink.
That was so close.
Wasn't that fun?
Okay, here's another way we do patterns, and I do this all the time, because here's what happens. Oh, we didn't tell them this. Okay, here's another reason to embroider. She'll never see this. So when your mother-in-law comes and you want, you just need to look peaceful and be a presence and keep your mouth shut, then you get out the
Depends on your
embroidery.
mother-in-law.
Yes, you get out the embroidery. Or it can even be, girlfriends talking. It can actually be people you really enjoy spending time with. If you're at a retreat or doing something, you can sit and do embroidery. So for me, it keeps me in the room and peaceful and not thinking of all the other things I could be doing. Which I do people really well, that just after 3 days, if I'm doing embroidery, I can last longer, is my point. So I'm forever doing embroidery when I have company. And this is company I love. They'll come and I'll be sitting just doing embroidery because I can visit. It's brainless. It's one solid color. I don't have to pay attention. I can talk and embroider at the same time. And I just am calmer. And so because I'm always doing embroidery, I have company that comes with kids. And I cannot tell you because I don't remember, but I'm guessing 4 or 5 different episodes of children who want to know how to embroider. So this is what I started doing. I'd say, what do you want to embroider? A giraffe. Okay. Then you go to the computer and you look up coloring page images, giraffe. And they all come up, and then you say which giraffe you want. You help guide them to a simple one that it will be easier for them to embroider. And then you can print it on your printing machine if your printing machine works, or you can draw it from the picture, whichever works for you. And then you put it on fabric. I let them choose their base fabric. I let them choose their color of embroidery floss. I let them choose a needle, and then I spend the next 2 days tying knots for them, because usually they're 5 or 6 or 7 and knots are hard. But the older ones can learn to tie knots. And I once had a 5-year-old great niece who finished an embroidery, and I didn't teach her how to embroider. She just had been watching me, so she's just sewing. You just let them do what they do and go on those lines. And her mom almost cried when she was going to give it to her grandma, who was the mother-in-law. She's like, and so I said, honey, I think your mom wants it. And so she gave it to her mom, and her mom has it on her living room. It was beautiful. It was amazing a 5-year-old could do that. So it's a really happy thing to teach your grandchildren, your children. All my children have done embroidery at one point or another. So this is that really handsome return missionary that just got home back there. This is his when he was 11. It's sideways. Turn it this way. And we just drew what he wanted, and he did the embroidery, and now he can say he embroidered something and made a quilt, and he's so happy about that. And I'm saving it to give to his wife because I don't trust him with it.
Good choice.
This was given to me
Aw.
on 2018. How old was he when he did it in 2018? Okay, so 8. So when Cole was 8, he made this for me for Christmas. He's my great nephew. And I put it out every year. I love it. It's going to Tennessee with me. It's just my favorite. It's the best. He drew it and then he embroidered it.
And my very capricious, what is the word? Very smart. What is the word, Jane? My little granddaughter, who is 5, and she can do anything. She really can. She precocious. That is the word. I knew it was there. She wanted to embroider because she saw me doing some embroidery, and it was around Easter last year, and she was 5. And so I just drew her a little egg and a couple flowers, and she went to it and she did it. I mean, she just stuck right with it at 5 years old. And then sometime later, she wanted to do some more. And she did this at home. She just drew her own thing and did it. And so she said, Grandma, are you going to make a quilt out of it for me? I said, you want a little wall hanging? Should we do front to back? Oh yeah, perfect. She picked the fabric. There it is. She loves it. And she said, you're not going to leave it here? No, honey, I'm taking it away, but I'll bring it back next week. Okay. So she gets it back. She's so excited.
These are patterns off the internet that I enlarged from coloring book pages. So that's what you can find with coloring book pages yourself, to do for yourself. I drew the flowers. I put the bugs, they're close to what was online. I changed them a little. And then I drew the flowers. But you can get the inspiration from coloring book pages online and then make it your own. And this pattern was when we challenged each other. And then I told Terry I was going to put this on top. So she totally is a cheater. And but her cheating is really smart and good. So here you go.
I did it just for you. If you don't want to do embroidery, pick a focus fabric and that can be your highlight. So you don't have to always embroider. Sometimes you could just, cheat. It's okay.
So I know that you know, maybe you don't know, I don't know, but I'm moving. I'm moving in a couple months and I'm going to Tennessee. So I've been getting together tons of handwork. I already sold my quilt machine, so that's like breaking your arm. And I need stuff to do for the few months that I'll be transitioning between houses and wherever I do. I don't even know what I'm doing. So I went to Terry's house and I said, I want to look through all your embroidery patterns. I want to choose some kind of things because I'm getting some projects together. I want multiple projects so I don't run out. So aren't these beautiful? So this is what I picked at her house from this big box of patterns. I brought this home. And then as I was preparing for this class, I looked in my embroidery box where I keep all my undone embroidery, and Terry had already made them for me. They were a gift for my birthday one year, and here they are. I must really love them because I gave her the pattern back. I have them that she made. I won't make them again. But.
And I had forgotten. That's the funny part. I said, yeah, you could borrow that. It's a great pattern. I forgot that I made them.
I brought them over and said, do you recognize these? She goes, oh, you already made them? No, you made them.
It's never about the product. It's about the process to me. It's the process. The product, I'm done. Go.
So as we were preparing for the class, and we already had all our ideas, and that's why it's a class tomorrow too, is because there's so much. And so we couldn't quit. And she could say it's me, but this one was her. So she found this in a quilt shop.
In Salt Lake, we went to Salt Lake to a different quilt shop, and it was that, what's that, Gardner Square?
Oh, Gardner
And-
Village.
Yeah, and this pattern was there, and the quilt was there, and it was just like this, red work. And I went and I looked at it, and then I said, okay, I don't need to buy that. I have plenty of stuff. Walked away, came back, looked at it again, picked it up, put it down, walked away. I did it like 3 times.
The pattern's $12.95, so you have to pay money, but think of the
It's
hours of entertainment.
So I walked away 3 different times, and then I thought, this is stupid. I'm buying this pattern. So I bought the pattern because it's so dang cute. Okay, and it's by, who's it by?
Madeline, no, it's called Madeline. Quilted by Megs and Me, MEAGS and Me.
Okay, so I was working on it and said, we said, didn't you want to do it?
I said, I'll make that one. I want to make that. That's beautiful.
And so we did it. I mean, we're fast.
We're obnoxious.
And
And
we're
so-
addicted.
And so, but we didn't tell each other what colors we were choosing because we wanted it to be a complete surprise. And so I didn't know if she was doing red or any whatever color. So we both did. We both
Without
picked the
telling
color,
each other.
without talking
Oh
to
my
each other.
goodness.
We kind of did tealy blue.
And we both like it so much, we're both doing it again. And we didn't tell each other we were doing it the second time. And so I started mine and she started hers. And guess what color? They're both red. So I'm going to do red work with country colors. And I don't know if she's doing it.
Okay, you have to look at the back of this one because then I'm going to tell you I've told you before, but my fun secret, this one's mine. My fun secret is to go to, and I can really tell you because I'm moving, so you won't be in competition with me, to go to TJ Maxx or Ross's and buy their really good quality blankets. You can tell by touching how good it is. And so this really was a blanket. And I do this often to put on the back of quilts because it's cheaper than buying them.
Just for a second.
You can pass it around.
Yes.
I'm sure it is. It's a new pattern. You can pass it around.
Okay, so just because she did that,
So we did that. that, we were getting it all done.
She added it to my
Getting close.
load of things to do, which is like a joy. It's what I do at night when I'm too tired to do anything else. I can always embroider. So if I'm exhausted and I can't stand myself, I can embroider. And so I went like 2 months after to another quilt shop and I found this.
But that was only what, a month or 6 weeks
Yeah,
ago?
it was really not long ago. And I was like, hee, do it fast. And so she did.
Aw.
So this one is called Down on the Farm. And I think I wouldn't have, it's also by Megs and Me.
Huh.
And I think I wouldn't have gone so bonkers for it, but the quilt was there made up. And it's so much better made up than when you look at this picture. And so I bought it and it has a little girl farmer on it. And that kind of annoyed me because who wants a little girl farmer on your little boy quilt? So I drew a barn. And so we both did the barn instead of the little girl farmer to go with ladder blocks. But Terry did the actual
Setting.
setting that you're supposed to do. And you have to see her way cool back. It's the
Oh.
best.
I love it. I found this weird fabric that it was so perfect. Just found it in my stash, you know.
The little mouse on the wheat, so cute. Thank you.
Yes.
And then I did this version. And I didn't do the pattern, but I did the embroidery.
I love the goat. Uh, So do you use larger pieces to sew and then cut them down, or you?
When the classes are out. Okay, so we love that pattern. It's just so cute. You can do so much with it. Okay, we thought you might like to know how we keep our floss. So,
Embroidery floss.
embroidery
Not dental
floss, not dental. So both of us had these back in the day. I have one at home just like it.
Like when my kids were toddlers.
It's when we did cross stitch and it has DMC and it has all the numbers and you put them on the little plastic whatevers. And that was really great when I was doing cross stitch. For what I do now, mine
can't
sits
open it.
there. Yeah, it hasn't been open for so long.
No,
It's stuck
I
shut.
never totally seal it. I
I-
just
I can't.
put the lid
Wow,
on.
yours is.
So that I have a color chart. I had a color chart and every color is numbered and I have all the colors in the world. Eventually I built up to have most all the colors. So that was back in the cross stitch days.
Like 80s. That was in the 80s. Yes,
When were you born, Jen? That must have been.
80s.
So I still use those for some things. But now we like solid work and we need like 5 or 6 skeins for one quilt or 7 or 8. And so
I keep mine in a tub that I didn't bring. It's this big and I have Ziploc baggies. So you just, and they're by colorway. So I'll pull out all the blues, I'll pull out whatever and I'll know how many I have.
So I just put all the yellows, like 6 or 8 of each one. So this is fairly new that I've worked on. Because I found this cute container and I couldn't resist. And I thought, oh no, what do I do with this cute container? So then I decided to put all the floss in. So when I get multiple of one color, I'll put it in. And I probably will label them eventually or not. I don't know.
And if I see DMC on sale, DMC is my preferred type of floss. Although I used to be a snob about it when I was a cross stitcher and now I will use other floss if it's just small amounts for whatever. You can tell the difference. It breaks easier on your needle. So DMC is the best quality. But
What do you think?
so
use
I
ours.
say. So also, but when it's on sale, I will go and I'll just look at the colors and pick colors I like and buy 10 of them. And so I can have 10 groups because I use the colors I love over and over. So that's an idea if you're gonna start wanting to do solid work. We call it solid work instead of red work. Everybody calls it red work, but it's
Because
black
we'll do
work
it
or
In green
brown
or
work.
black or any color,
How
brown.
many threads do you use?
My mother, when I was a little girl, taught me to use 3. She was so wrong. I use 2.
We use 2 most
I
often.
use 2 almost always, unless I'm doing something really to make an effect, I use 2. And on the last quilt I'm gonna show you on the tiniest details, I used 1. And it worked perfectly. It's really fun. So I'll go down to one if it's a really little tiny something. I want it to just be not bulky or fat, but 2 usually is perfect.
And this is my little carry bag that I usually just grab and take in the car just in case, even going to Rexburg for an hour. My husband, I can talk to him, well, and he insists on driving, so I might as well have something to do, right? So this is my red work of the Madeline one that we're starting. So I've got 5 or 6 of them done, but I'm never in a hurry. I usually am never in a hurry for, what?
Okay.
My hoop?
Oh, you do it backwards than me.
We always do everything backwards from each other. So, where was I? We do,
When you're traveling.
yeah, and so it's nice to have it. Oh, I'm not in a hurry, I was saying, to get it done usually, except on the farm animals, but that was fun. So I just pick it up when I want, put it down when I want. It's not a have to, it's a joy. It's a
What do you
joy.
mean you do it backwards? She does.
Okay,
who?
I'll show you.
She probably does it the right way, and I probably.
She does do it the wrong way, but it's okay because it's working. So it's all right. Okay, I'm going to show you different hoops. And I bought a whole bunch of them so that you could see. And the trick is they have these that are the old ones. These are my least favorite. Once in a while they have slivers and it makes me insane, but they'll work. This kind, you pinch it, you put it on. I find this tricky for me, but I can use it and have used it, and there you go. And so you put your piece in, and then after you get it in, you snug it down. So this one's kind of nice for kids. Okay, this one has a lip, and see this lip? So the reason she's doing it backwards is because she has such a small piece of fabric. Let me show you a bigger one. So on a bigger one, if you do the lip, you put the lip on top, and what it does, you have to, it's a pain to do it this way because you have to open this up then. Oops, that was far. Lucky that didn't fly
I
off.
think it was backward.
It was.
Oh, it wasn't.
You go like this around, and then see what the lip does is the lip holds it so that it goes around the lip and under, and then you tighten it, and that's how that one works. But if you want to use it backwards, professionals do apparently, and so that works
I'm a
great.
professional. Whatever way works, do it.
This is my favorite hoop, even though it's a little fiddlier, because I find that it holds my fabric taut the way I like it.
What's the brand?
I have no clue. Go look at the store.
Or go
Okay.
to Diane.
This one, I've just been doing it with this, and it works fine. I find I have to tug a little and fix it as I go. So I really do like the lip one better. And this one you just pop on, and it has the ridge inside of it. So you just go to any craft store and look around. The reason I dared buy all these to show you is because every time a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old and a 14-year-old comes by and I teach her embroidery, I give them hoops. So because they want to take it home with them. So I just go through hoops like a crazy girl. Okay, my sewing bags.
She's classy.
I'm so cool. I was at, what's the name of the quilt shop? You were with me. It's the good one. It's the good one. You guys can go there.
It's Ollie and
Ollie and
she's
Evie.
coming tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm at
Where
Ollie
is
and
that?
Evie's, and there's some lady, and I thought her card was in here, and I can't even tell you.
Tracy Bowman.
Tracy Bowman. Okay, so she is there talking about that she's going to teach people how to make this bag, and you can come to a class and make it yourself. Okay, want to count the zippers? 1, 2, 3, 4 zippers you have to sew in. I don't do zippers. Just like I don't do snow. And so I'm like, how much for you to make me one? Oh, she sells them. And I can't remember how much it was, but I feel like I stole it. She
It was
made
a
that.
lot of money though, but she.
Oh,
it
was so worth whatever I gave her. So that's it. And I love it because you can carry it on your arm. And I don't have time to show you all the stuff inside, but I'll keep it over there. And if you want to come peek through all the cool stuff I filled it with, you just go ahead. So this is my needlework, any work. When I'm doing projects, this is what I have been using. But then I started thinking, okay, I need a project bag because this one holds all the embroidery projects that I've been getting ready for myself, for my trips and my trips and my trips. So I went to Hobby Lobby and they had nothing. I went somewhere else, they had nothing. And so I got online. And this is what I found online, and I'm so happy with it. So this holds my hoops. So you can have multiple hoops with multiple projects, whatever you want. And it holds them all the way to big. And then you open it Ta-ta-da-da. I know, I should like sell these for this company, whoever they are. I don't even know. Lodrid is what it says. Oh, figure that out. Okay, yes. So I haven't even filled it all the way, but this, it has these great pockets to put stuff in here. My sister made this for me. I'm going to put a special wool project in it. These are just extra ones to show you. I bought these online. I just looked for packets because these pockets, I have room and I have this and this, and then I have all my projects that are ready in here. So I have this many projects ready so far, and I'm gonna get more ready so that I'm all the way ready to live
She
without a
has to
sewing
be very
machine.
addicted and halfway crazy, but she's so good at it, isn't she? Yeah, I'm just a little addicted and crazy.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell them about this while we're here. So one of the projects I have in there is this. One of the last girls that came to my house, that she was practically 14. That's what she said when I said, "How old are you, honey?" "Practically 14." And she's darling. And she wanted a butterfly. So we got online and found a butterfly that was very like this, but my printer wouldn't work. So I had to draw it so I can claim it as my own pattern. Ha ha ha. So we are giving you a free pattern. If you want a butterfly, then they're going to be back in the vendor area and Mary will hand you one. So you just come get your free butterfly pattern for attending the show. But I have a whole bunch of them, and I'm going to they're in my bag right now. So this will go back in my bag. So, and I'm going to do every butterfly a different color and then piece around it in fabrics that color scrappy, and it's going to be so beautiful. So that's my big hot plan. And as you do things, when you see an embroidery pattern, just let yourself create, because if you're looking at it and you think, oh, I need the body to stand out so that you can see the wings better, then just do little liney things and fill it in. You don't have to follow the pattern is what I'm telling you. You just do whatever feels happy. If you want to do a stitch that emphasizes something, do a stitch that emphasizes something. And the thing is, if you don't know how to embroider, this is when you should learn, because there are 40 million tutorials online, and these are simple stitches, and they teach you step by step, and you won't feel dumb at all because you can rewind and have them say it again, or go to another lady you like better. So now is the time to learn to do embroidery.
And as she was saying that, so this again was an applique pattern, remember? Kim Deal applique pattern. But since I wanted to embroider it, I went ahead and did details, like I added stitching here and I filled in certain spaces and made some lines on the basket, different places, just to give it more class, more character, more. So I filled in or made, and I may not be done. I may do some more, I don't know. We'll see, but that's what she's saying. If you want to improvise and make it your own, you don't have to follow a pattern all the time. The blue pen, we use the blue pen usually.
I've been using the new one that erases with heat. It's any color you want it to be.
Friction one.
The friction one.
I've used
So
that one.
I've tried both, and
And the
they
other
both
one,
work great.
the other one, if you know you're doing red work or black work, then I do it in a very, very fine red permanent pen. You just have to do it carefully because it won't come out, but then you follow the exact thing and it works nicely too. I've done that a few times.
I would never do that because I would blob it.
I'm very careful.
Okay, so one of the patterns that we made, Mary, my daughter and I, when we go to Tennessee, it's not open yet, but she's opening a business and I'm helping her with it. And so one of our new patterns, she's going to do lots of different things. She's an artist, but one of our new patterns is this one, and it's $3 for the embroidery pieces at the thing. So this one is the bus quilt. And Terry and I both made one.
So cute. Less disgusting.
So what's wrong with Idaho to open it?
With what?
What was wrong with Idaho to open it?
Oh, we're because we're moving, so
It'll be
we just
online.
thought of it. So
It'll be online
better
store.
way.
You can go online and get stuff from her.
It's called Mary Mabel Market.
So when it's,
MERRY.
MERRY MABEL.
but it's not open yet online.
There's
But when
nothing
it is, next year I'll tell you all about it.
Okay, and then to end it, we thought we'd show you one that we each have done that the other one hasn't done yet or plans to. So one of us didn't get one done and one of us didn't get the other one done.
Okay, let me see. I'm so confused.
Are you,
They fell on the floor.
Oh,
your
she
glasses?
No, she's making sure we didn't forget. to-
What did we forget? I think we almost have done it all. Okay, this is the one.
Oh.
You may have seen this. I think I showed it before, but.
This way.
So this was really fun because you just draw the patterns on your fabric and embroider them all. But when you're all done, then you cut them out and piece it into the quilt.
And you can do this, of course, in all colors, sweet or country like this, or you could do a red work or a black work or a gray work out of it.
Yeah. And this is one I did change the color, which was kind of annoying, but I had time on my hands. I was in Illinois. Anybody who like Illinois? So that's the one Dawn's going to do very soon.
And this is the one I did. It's called Merry Mice.
And not the cutest eyes you ever did see. They're doing so many fun things. Everyone is different.
So cute.
Okay, that's the end of our formal class.
Turn the camera off. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Who's coming to turn it off? Anybody? Okay.
Okay, now she.